So hi Toby, it's great to speak to you. NatWest's boss, Alison Rose, has resigned after admitting to inaccurately briefing a BBC journalist about Nigel Farage's bank accounts. So Farage is calling now for the whole of the NatWest Group's board to resign. What's your reaction to that?
Yes, I agree with Nigel. After she admitted to being the source for the BBC story, which wrongly claimed that Nigel Farage had been debanked because he wasn't rich enough to have a bank account at Coutts, after confessing to that and confessing to having made an error of judgment, which is putting it pretty mildly, the board of NatWest expressed its full confidence in her. Which is extraordinary. It was totally the wrong thing to say, and as subsequently emerged when, after it became clear that both the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Prime Minister thought she should resign, as did most newspaper commentators and indeed Nigel Farage, she changed her mind and resigned. They should respect the right to free speech, which is one of the cornerstones of British democracy, and not try and debank people just because they happen to express perfectly lawful views with which they disagree. So insofar as the board has responsibility for allowing that censorious, undemocratic, anti-free speech culture to emerge within the NatWest Group, it has to take responsibility and resign.
You had your bank account targeted, of course, last year. How widespread is this debanking in general?
Yeah, it happened to us last year. It happened to me personally and to the Free Speech Union and to my news publishing site, The Daily Skeptic. And I kicked up a huge stink, and eventually PayPal did a reverse ferret and kept the accounts open. And it was after that that we started lobbying the government to change the financial rules to make this much more difficult so other people wouldn't have to go through what we've been through. And the government has now said it is changing the rules. But lots of people have contacted the Free Speech Union and me personally since then to say that they've been debanked, and that trickle has turned into a torrent since Nigel Farage went public with his debanking. There's a Facebook group called NatWest Closed My Account, and it has over 10,000 members, and I think that's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, one thing I became aware of when it happened to me is that it's pretty embarrassing to be told by a payment processor like PayPal or a high street bank that they no longer consider you respectable enough to keep as a customer. You know, lots of people that happens to keep quiet about it, not least because they think if they kick up a fuss, if they go public, it'll be harder for them to get another bank account or take another payment processor to take them on. So I think, for that reason, lots of people it's happened to have kept quiet about it. So I think we're talking about tens of thousands of people in the UK alone.
Well, as we know, Farage revealed in his 40-page dossier, in a 40-page dossier last week, that his bank account was closed as a result of his political views. This kind of thing sounds like it's something that would happen in an authoritarian country rather than the UK.
Yeah, I think trying to control what people say, trying to suppress dissent from the official prevailing orthodoxy by threatening people with closing their accounts and stopping them being able to access banking facilities, payment processing facilities, that's a form of censorship, a brutal form of censorship that emerged in communist China. And one of the most shocking things about this whole affair is that social credit system, as it's called in China, has been exported. They didn't just export the lockdown policy, they've also exported this particularly sinister form of cancel culture, this brutally effective way of silencing people who dissent from the prevailing orthodoxy. In China, it's people who dissent from the official Communist Party line. But in the West, it seems to be people who dissent from, woke orthodoxy on issues like diversity, anti-racism, trans inclusion, climate change. There's a small cluster of issues, and if you take a dissenting view, if you challenge the prevailing orthodoxy, you will be punished not by the state, but by these large corporations. But it's really shocking that this censorious culture, this attack on free speech, developed by a brutal totalitarian regime, has effectively been taken up by the kind of titans of the capitalist system. And I'm glad that the UK government is doing what it can to snuff it out.
Well, Toby Young, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.